All right. Well, that sucked. Sorry about that, everyone. My internet cut out and I had to reboot it. And so, yeah, now we've got nobody here. And since notifications aren't working very reliably of late, should have done this before and set myself to just go live in 5 minutes. I'm just going to share this on Discord so that if YouTube doesn't notify people, they can see to come back. And I suppose that will give people a minute. Okay, so Roller Girl found her way back. Hey, sorry about that. My internet connection cut out, and I can't promise that won't happen again. So I'm just going to see if I can share this on the Discord, and then I had nothing else planned for tonight, and that cutting out kind of stressed me out. So I'm not sure what the fuck to say at the moment. So maybe someone will give me a comment or a question to get me going. Oh, and by the way, Shane put up part 2 of the podcasts I did with Dr. Oren Amate. And the second part, I believe, is where I don't really remember the conversation that much anymore, but at the moment, but we spoke about everything going on with social distancing and the pandemic and ways of maintaining mental health in the current situation. And for everyone on our Discord, I did post that a little while ago. Okay, there. Now everyone on Discord will know I'm back. Roller Girl says it's okay. Adela says there he is. Roller Girl asks what I was reading. That was from book 3 of Promethea. So Promethea is a comic book series written by Alan Moore. It's put out now in 5 graphic novels. So there's 5 books. It's 32 issues complete total, and it's not like it's not like Spider-Man or something. It's a story unto itself, and it's a story he uses to describe how he sees the nature of reality and to pass on information about how magic and the metaphysical work. Hey, Daniel, good to see you. Late for you tonight. You work tomorrow, don't you? Oh, and for anyone wondering, we're probably, most likely, having the next Lunatic Patrol on Friday at the usual time, 9 p.m. Fuck, what are we up to now? Let's see. Last one was Lunatic Patrol 8. So the next one's Lunatic Patrol 9, and we're 1 episode ahead. So we did 2 once. So it will be episode 10 next time. So if anyone is new to that, we're watching season 1 of Doom Patrol. We're getting close to the end now. Last night? Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, the last one was episode 9, which was very cool because the whole episode was about Crazy Jane predominantly and seeing how her different personalities interact in the underground, which is an interesting metaphor for subpersonalities. So if anyone's never checked out Doom Patrol, you have till Friday at 9 p.m. to get caught up, and then we're going to watch episode 10 together. And then even for the Lunatic Patrols, they're usually 5 or 6 hours. The longest one up to 7. And after the first half hour, immediately after the show, so a lot of the conversation stops having anything to do with what we watched, although it'll come up now and then. And Daniel says that he's going to bed soon, but we'll watch later tomorrow. Okay, cool. Well, hope you sleep well. Hope work goes well. And hopefully we'll see each other Friday night. But I've been really enjoying hosting the Zoom parties and talking to people. It's been great to get to know more people in the community, and it's been cool to see people get to know each other as well. And actually, this seems much less fun now compared to doing the parties. Just sitting here and talking at you guys. Um, oh, and so Shane's here. Let me know if you need anything. Zoom parties have been awesome. Yeah, the Zoom parties have been awesome. And it kind of spoiled me on this. This is a lot less fun in comparison to being able to get feedback from everybody. Um, Oh, but yeah, one thing you could do, Shane, is post a link for the Discord in the chat so that anyone who's not a part of Discord and wants to can join, because the Discord's getting bigger, and I found, especially since we've been having these parties for a while, so that now a lot of the community members, like a lot of the people on Discord, have spoken to each other face to face now. People are getting to know each other better. I find that's enriching the interaction on the Discord threads. Good night, Nolan. And Nolan helped with the thumbnail tonight. Like, I just scribbled Lunatic live on it, but Nolan did the awesome design for me. I asked him to make something with the Sacred Heart of Jesus on the moon with but yeah, Nolan did a great job. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciated that. Hope you get a great night's sleep. And Shane said the reading goes well with it. Cool. Yeah. But fuck, see, at the party, the minute I get like this where I just don't know what the fuck to say, someone else says something and gets it going. I've got nothing else planned for this. I feel the readings at the beginning made their point. I really don't have anything to add to it at the moment unless anyone had a question or comment about it. Oh, fuck. What can I say to everyone who watches here and hasn't been attending the parties? Well, I'm doing pretty good now. Like this week, other than my tooth acting up again, I'm doing well. I'm extremely busy lately with the shit on the channel, the parties, also just correspondence with community members or setting up talks with other people. And yeah, doing private sessions and everything. And the time it takes me to prepare and recover from shit. I have just gotten busier and busier. So for me, the experience with social distancing is the opposite of most people. I didn't go anywhere to begin with, so that's no change whatsoever. But whereas a lot of people found they suddenly had less things to do, I all of a sudden find that I can pretty much spend as much time doing things related to the channel um, and like setting up talks with people as I'm able to. So I've gotten quite busy, and I'm not listening to any news or anything like that actually about what's going on in the world. I've just been focusing on people showing up. Okay, so Shane says, could you elaborate on the soul being more important to rationality and emotion? Okay, sure. And wait, now I'm confusing my fucking self. Yeah, so that was in the last video, right? So if anyone's just joining this, uh, the stream fucked up. I was on before, I read something, then we all started talking, and my internet cut out. So I had to start this one. But yeah, somebody had commented about emotions needing to take a back seat to rationality, and I said something about how from my perspective, both emotions and rationality have to take a backseat to the soul. And so for me, Mindfulness is about observing all of that shit. Like it's about observing your emotional reactions. It's about being aware of your physical sensations, the way your body's operating. It's about being aware of both what thoughts are going through your head, being mindful of that, but also like paying attention to how you think and looking at what you consider rational, how you determine that. Um, and to put things into perspective, for me, you have to be able to connect to that awareness behind everything that experiences all of those. And where all of that, your emotions, your physical condition, your preconceptions, your biases, the way you rationalize, mixed with all the subconscious shit going on, the projection you're doing, the shadows that are active, the subpersonalities that are active, and the change within that, that all of that needs to take a backseat to the soul or the higher self. And again, people can use things like soul and spirit and all of that very differently. I'm using soul to mean like the higher self, the true self. And for me, again, everything else, your emotions input to a certain degree, it's the motion of energy through you. It's like a vibrational state that affects your thinking. But your rationality is a tool for examining the information. And that tool should be put to service of the true will. So to get in touch with the higher self, the soul, to find your true will, like with the capital W and the self with the capital S, and all other aspects of self should be put in service of that. Fuck, I'm feeling particularly I don't even know what the word for it is. I'm feeling spacey. So I don't know if that made any sense. All right, Pat found his way back. Sorry about that. Internet cut out. And yeah, I'm feeling particularly spacey. So I don't know how much sense I'm going to make. So how you doing today, Pat? What's on your mind? And Shane, did that make sense to you, what I was saying about all of that? And Dust to Dust is lurking. Well, thanks for at least saying hi. It's good to know you're there. You've been fantastic at the parties the nights you felt like turning your mic on. I thought a lot. And yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to say anything. What people say at the party, I won't bring up here. I'm just wanted to say stuff you were talking about last time had me thinking for quite a while the next day. Thanks for being a part of the community. Okay, so that helped Shane. All right, what the fuck do I ramble about now? I'm completely content to just fucking sit here. Programs 10 said that made sense to me, Merc. Mindfulness is a powerful way to tap into your core being beyond all the symbols we make around it. Absolutely. Okay, good. So that did make sense. Shane says, really made me think, how do I define rationality? Yes, absolutely. Also, I've never recommended it to you before, Shane. Like a great book to make you realize how you define things, or at least I found it great, was Alcibiades, or however it's pronounced, by Plato. Um, it's a fun read, and I think it makes a great point of making you notice that what you think of as a morality you've thought through is just really your natural biases, but even what you think of as rational is just how you were thinking already Um, See, there I just fucking wandered off because I'm feeling spacey. And then I look and see Adela Road. I don't sound spacey. All right, so maybe I'm tumbling through this a little better than I think I am. But I'm really clutching at words right now. Shane says, like it's weird. It's a feeling, rationality. Yeah, and what's rational to one person and rational to another is different. Programs Ted says, yes, in some ways it's a seeking, a continuous seeking where the unconscious truth wants it to go. Hey, Dan's here, and Dan's grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have you. How you feeling tonight? Oh, okay, I don't know how I tried to describe spacey. It's not like my mind's wandering off into nothing. I'm feeling the pull of the immateria, I suppose, from using the Prometheus myth. So yeah, I'm really feeling the upper realms at the moment, and my mind kind of wants to wander there. So Dan says hanging in there. Good. Spacey here as well. A pleasant space because mine, yeah, I'm also not complaining. I'm just describing the state I'm in to explain why I'm probably going to trail off more. Um, there's unpleasant versions of this and pleasant versions. How would I put it into words? I don't know, but maybe it's the equivalent of the Sephora flipping into the clip off. Like there's the pleasant and unpleasant version of each Sephora. There's a pleasant and unpleasant version of most states of consciousness. I wonder if it's all of them. I don't know if I've had an unpleasant one like in source connection. That's why I wanted to say some. I can't, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's when I'm feeling spacey like this, there's no point in trying to nail things down. It's easier to just talk and leave definitions vague. But a lot of states can be pleasant or unpleasant. Mine's quite pleasant, although a part of me is concerned it's not going to make for good viewing. How about you? Okay, did I already read Dust to Dust says it's a desire for logos, but logos is like trying to drink in the sun. I like that. Dan says that was beautifully read. Thank you. Pat says all those group chats have been impacting my days that follow. Yeah, me too. That's also some feedback I've gotten from other people. I think you can really see it in the whole group, especially the ones who've been to a lot of them. Okay, so with magic being the art and the way we've separated what was once all under the purview of the shaman, perhaps what social media and texting and emojis and abbreviations have done is reduced the amount of artful conversation in society. There is an art to conversation, and anything that is an art performed well is magical, and anything that is magical is transformative. We've been having very, very good conversations at the party, I found. And it seems like it's been transformational for more than just a few of us. Dan says yes and exactly, but now I don't know what you're saying yes and exactly to. Is that to Pat or something I was fucking saying? Oh, I'm swearing at myself, not you. Programs 10 says, I'm sorry, Mercury, you might be sensing my state. I'm so lit, I'm seeing fractals, and maybe you're picking some of that cush across the brainwaves. Maybe we're connecting to each other. Maybe that's the energy of the moon tonight. Full moons are full of a lot, and different moons have different energies. But no, I think that's a synchronicity that we're both in the same or similar states and that we're just feeding off each other. But no, you're not causing it. Although just there, focusing on that connection, like feeling that out, because that's what I was doing as I was speaking, was feeling out. Do I feel like that was projected from him to me? Yeah, but as I was feeling it out and paying more attention, because there's the energy of everyone here mixed in. But you and Dan have very powerful energies. And I think I'm picking yours out, and that's making the otherworldliness of this state even more pleasant. It's not necessarily disconnecting me more from the world, but it's flavoring that astral realm more pleasantly. So thanks. Go ahead and send all that energy you want. Mariah says being a fly on the way. Do you mean wall? Or is that clever wordplay that I'm not picking up on? Okay, the clever wordplay of that could be being a fly on the wall is a fly observing people sitting in one place. Being a fly on the way. Okay, now you're saying you meant wall. I'm going to go with way now. So being a fly on the way would be a fly observing somebody traveling their path, and it's buzzing along beside them as opposed to sitting stationary on the wall. And Dan says, just flow with it. I think it'll be great. Yeah, sure. Fuck it. I'll just flow with this. Besides, put these two parts together and I'll be in an hour soon anyway. So there's no more pressure. A little bit over an hour is good enough for each one. Or maybe I will fall into some sort of rambling flow and do that thing where I get way the fuck behind on questions. But so far, I'm staying caught up. And how are you feeling tonight, Mariah? Although you did just, your comment says you do feel like just observing. So feel free to ignore me. That's true for anyone. Like Dan, I know your energy goes like up and down. So sometimes you feel like answering and then later you don't. I completely understand that. So everyone always feel free to just fucking ignore a question. I won't consider that rude at all. Or answer it later when you feel like it, or never. But if you feel like it, Mariah, how you doing tonight? And Shane says, yes, seeking sort of fits at programs 10. I feel it a little different. At Mercury, this format, you and the solo allows people to prepare questions, and that's a plus. Yeah, I'm sure there are advantages to this format. The mood I'm in tonight, and I guess because we've been doing so many of the other parties, I feel better about the other parties at the moment. Although now, even as I examine that, also at the parties, I can be using my other fucking webcam because we're doing it through Zoom and you run the party for me. So, like all that technical problems I just had to deal with, I don't have when we do those parties. And yeah, because I can use my camera, I come through in better quality. We're better prepared at the moment. we do a better quality Zoom party than the quality of this shitty live thing. Like, even despite it cutting out, I know that it doesn't come through well, and there's probably all those fucking annoying noises. Also, that means I can't listen to music quietly in the background. When I can use my better quality mic and camera, I can put on quiet music, and you either don't hear it or you just subtly pick up like a touch of the music. But if I put on even the quietest music in the background, it turns all those weird noises you're hearing, which, like right now, the room's silent. It turns those way the fuck up. And yeah, now that I examine that, that's another reason I enjoy doing this less at the moment than I did when my computer was working better. So I could have something on nice and quiet, which makes a big difference to me. I'd fucking love to have quiet music on in the background right now. Fuck. And especially, maybe I should find a way to upgrade my equipment as soon as I can. I hate trying to upgrade equipment, figuring out new computer shit, but especially with, like, I'm putting way the fuck over 40 hours a week into the channel right now with the amount of time and energy I'm putting into the channel, and maybe the fact of the low quality of these live streams is impacting me more than I realize on a subconscious level. Maybe that's why I'm putting so much more energy into the parties and the private one-on-one sessions with people. And I have a feeling upper management's going to keep me at this for a while. So if I'm going to put all this effort into this, and the quality is going to be that much better if I can get better equipment, fuck, then maybe I should try to figure that out soon. All right, let's see what we got here. Programs 10 says, I love the group chats, and the moon is energizing for sure. I saw it a lot during my grocery run and looked at it for a while. Mariah says, I'm feeling a lot today. A lot of good, a lot of bad, or a lot of both. Just like an emotional day where the lows are deep and the highs are exhilarating. That kind, or mixed emotions. Okay, and Programs 10 says, I was joking about the brainwaves transmitting my kush, but that reminds me of a question I had. Is joking a lie? Is joking and acting a form of dishonesty? Is it acceptable because of its benefits? Okay, great. I can probably ramble about some of this. So first of all, if you were joking about brainwaves transmitting, I wasn't. Now, again, this could be purely delusional, but I experience energy and thoughts and shit off of people, and the kush is affecting your mood, and your mood feeds into me like an energy. And so in that sense, you're not transmitting your high, but it's altering the frequency of what you're sending me. Okay, so, and is joking a lie? Joking and acting. Okay, first of all, an artist can use a fiction to reveal truth. There's a difference between fiction and a lie. So, for instance, to me, a joke where you're leading somebody down the garden path, or where you're saying one thing by saying the opposite in a way that it's clear what you really mean. Like, if your true intent is clear, to me, the joke is a fiction. A joke that would be a lie would be a joke where the premise that isn't the joke part involves some lie, and where you're actively trying to convince somebody of a lie mixed in with the joke. If you're not trying to actually feed someone a lie, you're trying to give them an experience or communicate something that is different than what's literally being said. To me, that's using fiction and art to communicate things honestly. So not that it's acceptable because of its benefits, but just I don't think that's lying. However, yeah, there could be types of jokes and acting that are lying. So good acting is trying to express truth through fiction. But if your fiction were, for instance, propaganda, where written into it is the supposed facts of honest reality that you're portraying like honest history or something, and you're trying to rewrite history to actually convince people that's what happened, that's a movie that lies. But if you rewrite history, but we all know it's because you're trying to make a point about it and you're trying to express some truth, some artistic truth through a story that we know you're altering, then that's not a lie. Does that make sense? And Programs 10 says, but the benefit of YouTube is that the channel can grow. Okay, yeah. So is that back to me saying how I'm enjoying doing the parties and the private shit at the moment? Yeah, you're right about that. Maybe a bit more attention should go to the channel. Although I am also working on, I'm recording something with Andrea tomorrow, which will go up on her channel. We moved it from today when I realized there was the full moon and we would have to stop at like 11:30. We decided just to do it tomorrow so we'd have no time restrictions. So that'll be good for the channel. And I'm talking to Elder about doing something with him, both on his channel and on mine. And when I go with Ryan on live with Ryan, it's better quality because I can use my built-in camera. It's the Lunatic lives that are the pathetic quality at the moment. But if I can get a better system, maybe it would be both better quality with Ryan and definitely better quality here. But yeah, maybe I should try to direct a bit more attention back to here, even though it's the shittier quality. But also, I'm not worried about growth just for the sake of growth. I want to find the people that this is good for. And just them. I don't want to annoy anybody that isn't going to get anything from this. Dust to Dust says, jokes aren't funny unless they reveal the hidden truth in some way. The brain laughs when it resolves the riddle. Yes. And Mariah's agreeing. Says that's beautiful, Dust. So kind of a lie and a truth and truth at the same time. Okay, see, Sally's going to be sweet and supportive now and say, the quality isn't the equipment use, what you have. Adela says, if it doesn't have a punchline, is it truly a joke? Joke's one of those words. We can mean a lot of different things. Although, with what word can we not mean so many different things? Shane says, keep me updated. I'll help with the upgrade. Yeah, see, I don't know what the fuck to do. Okay, do I just get a slight? Okay, probably this laptop's fucked at this point. Like, I can't share shit at the parties. And Ryan said he might have a computer that would be better than this. I don't know if he was sure whether it worked or not. So I wonder, like, would that be good enough if I got a mic and camera for it? Andrew thinks we should just do like a fucking Kickstarter or something. And he says that if people knew that the money was just going to go directly to this, that people who wanted to see it in better quality would kick in. The other problem, like for me, is that I don't know fucking anything about computers. I don't know what I need. Fuck. Yeah, let's just talk about that sometime soon. But also, I'll throw that out because, like, Andrew and who else did it suggest? Some people have been saying that what I should do, because, like, I'm on disability and I'm not making any money off this, that what we should do is put up that people can donate to get better equipment and that we'll just make the best with whatever we can get, or we could set some goal or something. I don't know anything about that, so I'll throw that question out. What do the people who are here tonight think? Should I just try to find something that's slightly better, either by trying to get some free stuff, or do people want to chip in and see if we can get enough money to get me a setup that will be better quality than maybe if I'm scrounging something together. So, does anyone have any feedback on that? Also, Shane, we should be doing a meeting with Andrew sometime soon anyway, because he's willing to give you and Nolan some advice on all the technical shit. So we can talk to Andrew about that too. And we'll see if anyone gives us any feedback here to think about. Pat says, we talked a bit about that at a group chat, using words as sort of manipulation. So joking is manipulating. Sound in a certain way to draw laughter out of others. Magic. Yeah. And again, like manipulation is a framework that you can just look at absolutely every interaction as manipulation. Sally says, joking is like art. It's the lie that tells the truth, at least to me. See, I there would just change the word lie to fiction. To me, lie and fiction are two different things. Although a fiction can contain lies. Because think about when you read a book, it's clear what they're claiming is the real truth of our genuine reality and what they're adding to the story. For instance, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy isn't lying to us about the nature of reality. It's clear that's talking about a different place. On the other hand, somebody could write a book set in, the modern world and describe some conspiracy that, and let's say they're wrong about it. I'm not saying there aren't conspiracies, but they could be lying about a conspiracy, because they want to manipulate and make money or whatever. But it's that they're lying and like they're claiming that that's actually what reality is. So to me, lie and fiction are two different things. Shane says jokes are my water nowadays, especially when working. Yeah, and Shane says if I helped stream, we could stream Zoom to YouTube, better quality. Yeah, that would get us better quality. But then I can't just pop on live like randomly as freely either, though. But you're right. If we can get that figured out to like the way Ryan does it, that's better quality. Although even then, I still don't look and sound nearly as good as Ryan does. I don't think. So even with that, I should try to upgrade on my end as soon as I can. But also, my computer's getting glitchier as well. Like before, I could use the webcam I have now streaming. Maybe it's not that long until this gets even worse. Dust says, I think I could chip in a little. Not sure what others think. And Pat says, I can chip in. Dust says, oh, when it comes to YouTube content is more valuable than how it's filmed. Okay, excellent. And that seemed to be, did someone else say that earlier? So that is still the feedback I'm getting. Okay, good. So I won't put too much pressure on myself then. But yeah, me and Shane, maybe we'll have a meeting sometime soon with Ryan as well, because it's been a while since we've done that. Maybe we can all discuss that, and maybe we'll post some way that if people want to chip in a bit, and we'll just see what we'll do from there. But yeah, it's nice to know that you guys are forgiving of it the way it is now, and just yeah, that takes the pressure off. Thanks for that, Dust. And so, on that note, what the fuck kind of content do you want right now? What would you like me to ramble about? I gotta go use the washroom. I'll be back in a minute. And I think, yeah, I'm caught up unless this is frozen up. So this is your chance to ask whatever you want. I'll be back to start answering shortly. Programs 10 is agreeing with Dust to Dust that on YouTube, it's what people are saying that matters more than how it's filmed. And Shane's also agreeing. The evidence, from what I understand, disagrees with you guys, though. You would be the exception to the rule, and maybe that is because it's a unique bunch we have here. Oddly intelligent, oddly self-aware, and many of us just oddly odd. But I saw a thing that showed the quality of the video that like profoundly affects how we take in the information. They did these the research was you would show debates to groups of people or different people presenting arguments, different newscasters, things like that. And on something like a debate where it's, say it's a split screen where you see both people talking, they would take the same debate and they would show it to, a bunch of groups of people with the person on the left is in higher definition. Their sound is clearer. It's louder. The person on the right's lower quality, like just sound and everything. And then the other half of all the people got it the reverse. And consistently, people found, like when asked who won the debate, it was the person who was in better quality with the exact same debate being shown. Or if they were shown different newscasters and asked, how reliable is this news source? The worse the quality was, the lower it was rated. The higher the quality was, the better it was rated. And in debates, if one person's shown with better quality than the other, for instance, like I think when you look at like with me and Dr. Amate, even though that was being done through Zoom, so it was better, much better quality than this. I'm lower quality than him. My sound's not as good. So what it shows is that you take people less seriously when it's like that. You're more likely to dismiss something, decide it's wrong. So objectively, it seems that it does matter. However, at first, and again, like this isn't me talking myself out of upgrading my equipment. Like I went through the period of adjusting to this. I'll soon be ready to move on and focus on upgrading my quality just so it's better. But up till now, I was aware since the beginning that there was that effect, and I liked it. The same way that I liked wearing all the worst labels of me on my sleeve. I like the fact that me being in lower quality was it both a deterrent to watch me, and would make it less likely for people to believe what I was saying. Now, part of it was because I was easing into this, and really, I was often worried about too many people watching, as opposed to most people starting on YouTube wanting as many as possible. Now, not that occasionally I wouldn't. Okay, again, it's like everything. I've got one sub-personality that loves to see the higher numbers. When it comes out, there can be a rush off a video getting more views, or suddenly there being more people. But more often during the first year of doing this, it was the sub-personalities that didn't want that many people watching. And in particular, only wanted like sort of my tribe watching, the people for whom it would be good. And I felt that the fact that there was that layer that sort of pushed people away would make a barrier that only people that really got something out of it would stick with it. But also, I don't like the whole field of teaching people how to manipulate others. What's the word for it in Greece? Is it sophist? Like the idea of learning how to argue, learning how to convince, the idea that a good salesman can sell snow to an Eskimo. I don't like that. I don't want to be as convincing as possible, especially because when I was young, I learned to lie very, very, very young. And the more convincing I was, the more I could get away with lies, which meant the longer until I learned it wasn't right to be doing all those lies. Like I had to go through the whole Pinocchio journey. So being more convincing and being able to manipulate others is not something I want. And that's not something I think we should be focusing on. I'm working on trying to be as right as I can be. And so I would rather that people have serious, like to a certain degree, an actual pressure to dismiss what I'm saying so that they will only accept what I'm saying if it's so powerfully true to them that they feel like listening to it, even though it's coming from some freak fucking lunatic hermit sitting there stoned, just rambling at length about it on really poor quality that is going to, on a subconscious level, make you feel like it's less reliable. I've appreciated that. So programs Ted says I'd chip in, but content is 100 times more important than the gear. On the other hand, gear is investing in future growth. So I see both sides. Yeah, also like I don't like thinking of this as a fucking business at all. But Peterson's points make sense. If you're gonna put effort into, altruism, it makes sense to capitalize it so you can expand on it. There's things I could do with capital. I could build a very nice retreat very cheaply here. Land's very cheap here. It's full of fucking nature. My dad's got a sawmill. I could get really cheap cut lumber, put up really nice little rustic cabins, and make a place people could go both on silent retreat or, hosting events where people want to have like a think tank type thing, or I could host, group sessions, different themes and whatnot. So the equivalent of like these watch parties, but where we can sit around the campfire all night instead of staring at each other on screens. I think there's a lot I could do with shit like that. And I do think that even though, I'm reluctant about advancing all the technology and all those reasons I had before, especially like Ryan's got a serious future. He's not just some fucking weirdo lunatic like me rambling about what his imaginary friends taught him up in the sky. Like he's got a serious career path, and this affects him, not just me. Also, at this point, we're taking on interns, and how the channel does affects Nolan, and when Grizz is back, and Shane. How the channel does affects the community members who are here now. So, fuck, maybe it's time to grow up soon and try to treat this like a business and see if we can make it grow a little bit more. Although I don't want to think about any of the business side, I just want to fucking talk to people and angels and ramble about these ideas and fucking whatever. Talk people through their problems, pray with them, do magic, explore ideas, do private sessions and podcasts, shit like that. I just want to focus entirely on that. I don't like thinking about money. I don't like thinking about business. And I don't like thinking about computer shit. But I think maybe I've got to grow up a little. And again, I can't push myself too hard, or I'm going to turn into a big baby and rebel against this, and shit's going to get all fucked up down amongst the sub personalities. So I'm going to have to ease into this, but I'll see what I can do, and I'll see what the universe provides. All right. Where did I leave off here? Okay, Sally says probably Shoe on Head used a potato cam for years. I have no idea what any of that means. Apparently, Dust to Dust likes Shoe on Head, whatever that means. And Sally says, I like the potato aesthetic, makes me feel the real hipster, but you're probably right. Peterson might dust you off and put you in a pinstripe. Sigh, we are saving the world, I suppose. Yeah, no, I don't intend to. My profession doesn't involve changing who I am. It's putting me in a more business-like context. The better equipment and there's a lot of shit we could be doing better with the channel. But no, don't worry. I'm not going to turn normal as I take this more seriously. I'm just going to try to keep those more business and practical things that I don't like thinking about in mind. The nonsense coming out of my mouth will still be the same kind of flow. I'm not going to talk about something because it's marketable or not. I'm still going to do what I do the way I do it. Just maybe we can surround that with a more professional support structure. Sally says it will be a good development story having the old content with the new. Yeah, and it's funny, like I looked back through everything recently. You're right, me and Ryan were working on making like a channel video, a little introduction to the channel. And it is interesting the story there of both me and Ryan. You can see us both figuring this out as we go, and we both changed a lot since this started. I'm really impressed with how Ryan's developed. Just because says less is more. Sally says it might be the time to grapple the reins of sophistry from the bastards wielding them. Maybe we will take a decade or two to do it. I believe truth's more powerful. I'm not concerned about the people misusing it, personally. Well, unless I happen to encounter one of those people and they become my business. Sally says, build a studio in a camper, you said? No, I wasn't talking about building a studio. I was talking about something like even further down the road. But like, yeah, the short term would just be better equipment. Also, like at the moment, I always film sitting right here just because like this is where I'm comfortable. This is where I sit all day when I'm inside. And it's a comfort thing that I'm filming from right here. It's not because I think it's the best background or anything. It's totally a comfort thing. So I could get better equipment and maybe I could figure out a nicer backdrop. And like Ryan has, he's got his little setup to film from. On the smaller level, that's something we could possibly do short term. I could possibly do short term. Get a little bit better equipment, get a little bit of a spot set up to do the podcasts and live streams from. So that'd be a short-term thing, but something I've brainstormed. And again, I'm completely happy with, like when I talk about taking it a bit more seriously, seeing where it goes, I'm still completely happy with this just the fucking way it is. If I'm going to spend the rest of my life on disability, if I'm going to make no money doing the channel, but I can help this many people by this amount of effort, this is worth doing, I'm happy with this. We can just keep going. However, if it were to continue to grow, and if I could get myself off of disability, I would. Like, I don't feel guilty to be on it. I made my deal with the government. I understand the rules of why I have disability and what my responsibilities are being on it. And I also feel that even if I wasn't doing this channel, like there's no reason to feel guilty or ashamed of being on disability when you need it. However, I also feel that on top of that, I'm giving back to society by doing the channel, and that even more so. you could look at it as government, that I'm government sponsored doing public service here. Um, but if I could, like Alan Watts says, you find what you do well and eventually it'll start making money. And he said, it seems he's like me. He doesn't want to think about fucking business. Numbers and money don't matter to him. So you just find the people it does matter to. They take care of it. And then you're able to do your work and reach more people. So if that wants to continue to form, I'm willing to go along with that. And if I had the resources to, because one thing I would love to do, and I had intended, like the house I'm in, my great grandfather built. Nobody but my family's lived here. I was supposed to be buying it when I moved in. It was supposed to be that I was going to rent it for 2 years, just for like working out fucking, I don't know, some kinds of tax shit. And it was easier to do it after 2 years. But then the guy changed his fucking mind, which wasn't fair. But I very much would feel, I just very much want to be in the house I'm going to die in. I was really hoping it would be this one. Like my great grandfather died in the room just over there. Another family member died about probably where I'm sitting in this house. And I'd like to die here. But if I can't actually buy this place, I would still like to buy somewhere around here near the family land. And land's really cheap around here because it's Quebec and no one wants to live in fucking French Quebec with all their shitty language laws. So, and it's nice land. It's not that high quality land that you can just turn into acres and acres of nothing but corn, like the prairies. So lots of valleys and hills and rocks and shit. So it's lots of small farms, small fields, lots of grazing animals, and lots of forest and wildlife around here. If I could buy a piece of land and, have a house, and fuck yeah, I would love to be in a house that I know I can die in. Where I know if I put a couch somewhere, it's the last time I have to move a couch, where I can just settle in and I know I never have to leave that place. That would just be profoundly positive on my psyche. But if I could find, like, for instance, if I could buy this farm, it's got 120 acres, I think. About 60 of that is fields, and then about 60 of that is forest. I could build trails into the forest and cabins out there. I could build a spot like a fire pit. Maybe even my dad knows someone with earth moving equipment. I could possibly very cheaply build a small lake and stock it with fish. And I really enjoy feeding the birds. And, I've made friends with the chipmunk. And I would love to have a farm where I planted a bunch of shit that was just for the animals, or you encourage also the wild plants they eat. Because there's lots of wild turkeys around here and just deer, and all kinds of animals. I'd love to build a spot where you planted gardens that were both like nice trees and flowers and shit, but also like the shit that the local wildlife really likes to eat goes into other people's gardens for. And something in between a garden and a campground where the wildlife were being fed and there's a nice nature energy, and that it could be a retreat. Either people could do silent retreats, groups could go there, or, like Ryan has all his nature-based coaching stuff. And all of my weird fucking spiritual, mystical, and magical shit work mixes very well with nature. So if I could build a spot like that, also it'd be nice if you could get just basic power there, like on its own, power, like panels, and the groundwater is like spring water here. If you get a deep well, it would be great to have it equipped with basic electricity, water, and I'd love to stock it with emergency supplies as well. Those supplies that last forever. And that way, when the retreat's not being used, because like last year, a bunch of people got flooded out of their home or whatnot. It would be nice to build a place that was both, that could be used as a retreat, like where we could host events, where Ryan could visit and do therapy, or where, Tim Freak travels around hosting events, a place even other people could host events, or where people could do silent retreats, or host their own. Fuck, what else was it? Oh, right. But it would also be nice to have it equipped as a shelter at the same time. So that if there was like a local flood or something, that I could go to whoever it is. I don't know who you'd go to, the church or city hall or whatever, and say, like, hey, look, I can take 10 families. It'd be great if you could say to them, like, look, there's the cabins. It's sort of roughing it, but there's the compostable toilet. There's just basic running water, um, electricity, and to be able to say to them, if you can get your own food to cook, great. But if this is really a hard time, there's emergency supplies in every cabin. Help yourself. Or even who knows what else, like possibly it could be used for in that charity side, even aside from therapy, like to let a local woman's shelter know that if they're ever overburdened and there's a woman that needs to get away from abuse and have a safe place to stay for a week. Um, I'd really like to build a place that could be a combination of those things, an emergency shelter for people locally, but also a place that we could hold retreats. And in a way of bridging and healing our contact with nature as well. Because animals like it when you plant the shit they like and you don't put a fence around it. You mix it right into the edge of the forest or spread out throughout the forest. All right, so we're back to when I was talking about being convincing versus being right, I think. Dust says, yeah, being convincing sets you up for self deception in a way. You get to convincing yourself and find yourself chasing your own tail. Absolutely. And if you're smart and deceptive and you can convince everyone else around you, then it's even easier to deceive yourself. So if you're smart, you're manipulative, you know all the tools of convincing other people, you convince everyone around you of what you believe. And it's going to be even harder for you to find out what you're wrong about because nobody's going to tell you. That's another trap you can set for yourself by learning those manipulate others courses. Mind control shit. Sally says, how can anyone be too tired to sleep and also full of ideas? I would say they could be that way happily or in a stressed out manner. Those are the two options. Which is it for you? Because sometimes it can be pleasant to be overtired and full of ideas if you allow yourself to accept it and enjoy it. Dust says Ryan is also looking at a giant tuition he's looking to pay off, such as life. Yeah. Yeah, and on the one hand, like I'm on disability, which isn't a lot, but fortunately I don't have any debt or anything like that. So I'm just at ground zero. And if the channel never makes anything, like fuck it, I can get by and I can do the channel. So I'm good on that level. But also, if the channel were to take off, I don't have any debt holding me back or anything. So I wouldn't be a black hole of money. If I could get money together, that could go straight to a piece of land or whatever. I wouldn't have any debt issues interfering. Sally says you have literally the rest of your life, no pressure. Okay, why isn't this working? Is everything froze? Okay, it's going again. Shane says the universe is in on it, I'm sure. Sally says Shoe on Head is a YouTuber who called her camera a potato. Okay, that makes sense. I probably should have been able to figure that out from context now that you say that. And Dust says push the ball forward only as much as you're comfortable with. Yeah, or no, well, I'm going to do that thing. I'll push myself just a little outside my comfort zone. Not too much. Then take a step back and recover. Take a step forward. Yeah, I'm not going to get reckless with any of this. I'm going to flow with the Tao. I'm contemplating what to do in different scenarios should they arise. So I have some idea. but I'm not a plan things out and follow through kind of person. Also, I'm very, very, very accustomed to taking all my orders from upper management. I'm used to my angel stepping in and telling me what to do when I'm supposed to do it. And then, and that is partly why I'm brainstorming that. I don't know what I said before. Um, but one thing was that is something my angel said to me recently was not it's time to get new equipment. It's time to start getting comfortable with the idea of getting new equipment. It's time to start preparing yourself to look into because it's going to be stressful for me to do that. But I got the order from above to start preparing myself. That's why I'm thinking about all this shit. That's funny. It often mixes in with what upper management says. I won't say that to anyone else. And then for the next 2 or 3 days, people say the same thing to me. So like that shit, Andrew. I think I said that, or did I just think it, not get around to it? But Andrew was saying like that we should take up a collection. Yeah. I fucking said that. It's like he did that right after upper management had told me that, and it wasn't because I brought it up. Sally says, didn't say we had to use the sophistry. Okay, I'll go to bed, I suppose. All right, well, I hope you sleep well, Sally. And we're probably doing the next watch party Friday at the usual time at 9. Hope you can make it. Adela says, on a good note, the channel gets lots of views, in my opinion. And you said, when do we start? And yeah, now I have no idea what you were referring to there. Our views have been dropping lately. And our level of views is okay. Like it's definitely at the point that it's worth doing, but our channel looks weird because for the subscribers we have. And again, it's because so many of those subscribers aren't on the channel for us. Or in fact, I'm surprised how many people are still showing up now and then to ask where Andrew is, considering it's been like well over a year now. But I think a lot of our subscribers in that number, it's like they subscribed a long time ago. They hadn't looked in the channel so long that it's buried in their subscriptions. They've never had anything from the channel recently suggested. And so I think there's lots of people subscribed to us who still don't know who me and Ryan are. Like just the last time I announced a Lunatic Patrol, 2 people commented under that asking where Andrew was. Although they didn't remember his name. It was, where's the guy who started the channel? But it's enough viewers that everything's worth doing. Like I'm content with how many viewers there are. On the other hand, we do keep getting, new people trickling in that either Ryan or I or both of us can help. Or actually, I've noticed I think a lot of people are helping each other on the Discord now as well. So not even out of the sense of wanting the numbers for the sense of success. I would like to reach more people that we could actually help because I think this is an important. It's not even that I think; it's that management is telling me this is an important time, and that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Shane says I haven't even met that chipmunk, and I perked up and laughed as soon as I heard you mention it. Yeah, and he's around this year. I have no idea how long chipmunks live. Does anyone know? Sally says it's too beautiful a dream. And Shane says, dude, I like those ideas. Okay, what are we talking about there? Oh, is that me talking about if I had the money to build like a retreat or something else? Ah, fuck. Right now, I don't even care to try to make sense of anything. I'm feeling very connected to that upper realm. All right, somebody give me something fresh to react to. The part of me that's very, very pleasant, or pleasant, very, very pleased to just be is settling in. Let's see, why is that settling in? That's settling in because of the pleasant energy you guys and gals and others, if there are others, are sending. And Shane's saying, yes, the retreat. Yeah, I have no idea if that's a likely possibility or not, but it's a pleasant thing for me to visualize. It's enjoyable to think about what I could do with a retreat. So I enjoyed brainstorming that. I don't enjoy thinking about the steps to achieve it. I don't enjoy thinking like where the money comes or having to do the shit with the money. The actual building of the place would be fun. And I think running it could be very rewarding. I really enjoy spending time with local nature. I don't have any pets, haven't in years. And like I love pets, but I'm really liking having a farmyard with no cats or dogs so that they're not chasing anything away. I get deer going right through the yard. I've had coyotes right up at the house, wild turkeys going through. It's a bunch of falcons this year, not just the. I think that original pair, one mate died, but it seems like, and I don't know if they've nested or not, but they're still around, and there's like at least three because I've seen three at once. So there might be a couple falcon nests somewhere around here this year. A couple groundhogs have gotten very comfortable in the yard, and the groundhog that I saw climbing trees last year. I know he's moved in under my front porch. He dug it all out under there. And he's still fucking climbing trees this year and eating leaves. I've never seen a groundhog do that. Yeah, the friendly chipmunks around, a couple squirrels around. Had lots of grackles and blue jays and crows, turkey vultures around. I don't know that I've ever had a bear through my yard here. Like, there's lots of bears in the area, but you got to come across a lot of field to get here. I wonder how much, like, because I've gotten to know the frogs in the back. I can actually befriended them where I could call Merlin and he would come. And the one chipmunk, which, yeah, I keep calling him the chipmunk, even though he's got a name. So the chipmunk that I'm like really good friends with, his name is Chipmunky because my daughter, when she was two, loved watching for the chipmunks, but she would call them chipmunkies. And she used to just like it was something we would go outside and do. Well, we'd be outside playing, but always if she saw a chipmunk, she'd point it out or I'd point it out. We'd watch it up in the tree. Or if they went running by, she'd always run after them and she'd go like to the bottom of the trees and yell up to Chipmunky, I just want to pet you. And she just wanted to like play with the chipmunks so bad and they would run away from her. And it was just the way she would say, I just want to pet you. I'll be nice. And so that was my motivation to befriend the chipmunk that summer. I don't know if I ever told why I, in particular, reached out to the chipmunk or chipmunky was because my daughter wanted to pet him. And so once I made friends with him, she was able to feed him and she was able to, pet him a couple times, which she absolutely loved. But I wonder what I could do making friends with wildlife, especially if there were cabins up like right into the forest because my house has trees around it. There's this little cluster by the river or by the creek. There's rows of trees, but other than that, it's field all around. But up the hill at the top of the field, it then goes into forest back there. And I think it could be a really nice retreat made up there. And I wonder if I built trails into the woods up there and did shit like planting apple trees for the deer and the bears, putting out bird feeders. Also, there's lots of homes you can build for birds, like not just bird house or for animals, like not just bird houses. You can put up bat houses and you can make houses to attract rabbits and different animals. Be interesting to fill it with different sorts of homes to put out food. I mean, you could even put out round bales of hay in the winter for the deer or salt licks. I wonder how many friends I could make in the forest up there if I had the resources to both be putting out food and making a nice place and doing my spiritual work and magic up there to make friends with them. I wonder what kind of a meeting place I could make for humanity and nature to interact. I don't know how I got off on all that. So Adela says, and I quote, our channel looks weird because of the subscribers. Yeah, I didn't mean because of who the subscribers are. And Dust says, kind of fun being weird at times. Well, we might as well see it as fun, Dust, because you and I don't have a choice. Some people have a choice about being weird. You and I don't, so we might as well embrace it. Dust says, rare occasion to see a bear. I did see a black bear cross the highway once here in WV. What's that? West Virginia? I don't know what the fuck that means. You're around a lot, Dust. I'm sure you've heard my story about the bear at the house I used to live in that would climb my apple tree every night in the fall. Me and that bear, I don't know, we didn't like hang out, but we knew each other. He stopped running off when he saw me. He would just walk off. I found the black bears around here are very chill animals if you know how to interact with them. A friend of mine caught a baby black bear once and wanted to raise it. He had it for a while and then it got away. And one time when I was like a teenager and all fucking stupid, I also tried to catch a baby black bear. And yes, I know how dangerous that is. I felt confident the mother wasn't around. And I didn't get mauled. I didn't catch the bear. It went under a cottage where we couldn't get at it. And I don't know what the fuck I was going to do with it if I caught it. I wasn't going to hurt it. Oh, it's almost 2 a.m. already. That last hour went by quickly. Well, for me at least, because I'm feeling all spacey. So, anyone else got anything they want to discuss? Did I already mention Shane put up part 2 of, yeah, I did. Part 2 with Dr. Amate's up. If people want to check that out, I can plug that. Already plugged Friday is the next Lunatic Patrol. Any other channel news? Not that I can think of. Oh, I could give the update. Both Shane and Nolan are working out excellent. They've done a fantastic job. I think we've got a solid team. Well, if no one asks anything, I'm perfectly content to just sit here. Ooh, West Virginia. I was right. Do I get a gold star? All right, I'm gonna take. Yeah, I feel like just enjoying being present for a moment. Just says, nah, that's a new one to me. What story about the bear? Yeah, so if you mean the bear, house I lived at before, a house like my ex and my kids are in now. It's just like the next dirt road over. It's more set, like it's right wrapped in the forest. So you get more of the bear and you get many more deer over there than I get here. There was a bear found the apple tree in the backyard, and it was right beside the outdoor wood stove. And the bear would climb up it. He just flattened the whole top of the tree. He'd climb up and sit on the top of it. He'd crush the whole top flat. He would just sit up there eating apples all fucking night in the fall. So, and I would have to go out to check the stove a couple times. So I'd go out and just turn on the light. Sometimes that was enough. At first, he would just shoot off down the tree and take off. But gradually, as he saw, like I didn't shout him away or anything, he would sort of take his time more. Or occasionally, even just turning on the light wouldn't get him moving. So I'd give us, just a slap on the door, and he'd climb down and walk off. Although there were a bunch of times where I wouldn't think to give him that time to get down. Well, especially when it was really fucking cold out and I just wanted to run out and do the wood. And so it was sort of I would run out and hit the light as I was going by. And so I was right beside the tree by the time the door even slammed shut. And the bear just dropped right beside me, just a foot away, and would, yeah, when I was rushing like that, I tended to be my mind somewhere else. And so scared me not in the sense like being like startled me, which suddenly the bear was there and he would just dash a couple feet and walk off. But eventually it got to where even when I did that, he didn't panic or anything. He just climbed down and would walk off into the woods while I did the stove. And then he'd go right back up it. I enjoyed having him there. That was at the point where I was allowing people to visit me again, and other people did not like the bear there. So if people came to visit me and were going to leave when it was evening or night and the bear was out there, they insisted I went out and got rid of the bear before they would go outside. But I enjoyed having it there. And then the second fall, it ate off that tree one whole season, and then halfway through the second fall, someone saw the bear in the yard, like a friend of the people who owned the property. I was renting it, and he just drove straight into town. The bear was just like considered that a safe place to hang out, I think. So the bear was just sitting under the apple tree, is the way I heard the story. I was asleep in the house. Uh, and he just drove straight to town, bought a bear license, came straight back, and the bear was still sitting there. So he shot it. But I enjoyed having that bear hanging around. The other cool thing about that house is there was a pair of porcupines that lived near there, and I'd see them all the time in the yard. Almost stepped on them a couple times. The way they'll just sometimes hold still and put up their spikes if I'm walking through the long grass. Okay, wait, yeah. So here's what Shane said. I think you could show people how to do YouTube, like the mindset. Me? I don't feel like I know how to do YouTube. And also, although Ryan, I think, works really well with individuals, would also really do well with groups. Like I can imagine it. Okay, there, yeah, definitely. And it's just Ryan's really busy right now. Ryan's group Zoom events will be different than mine, but eventually he'll start doing group Zoom events. His might be more like group sub personality work or a more serious discussion of a single topic, unlike my sort of random chaotic parties. So I would imagine his to be more structured, but he's definitely going to start doing them. He's telling me all the time how happy he is I'm doing them and that he thinks it's great for the channel and the community. And he's glad that I've got the energy to do it because he just doesn't have the time or energy for that right now. But he recognizes how good it is for the channel. And at some point, he'll step in. Yeah, maybe at some point, even often like the synchronicities work out. So maybe some point in a few weeks or whatever, I'll get burned out on doing them and need a break, and he'll feel like doing them for a while. So yeah, Zoom events with Ryan would be excellent. But when you say you think I could show people how to do YouTube, like the mindset, I have no idea what you're talking about. I feel like I don't know how to do YouTube at all. What mindset that I have do you think would be useful to other YouTubers? I'll ramble about whichever mindset you're talking about. I just don't know what it is. Pat says, was good just to listen tonight. Well, glad you enjoyed it. See y'all Friday night. All right, awesome. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you there. Just says gluten bear? Oh, glutton bear. Well, that's what a fucking bear's supposed to do in the fall. They're supposed to pack it on. He was getting ready to not eat all winter. Don't start fat shaming my dead bear friend. First of all, respect for the dead. Second of all, no fat shaming. It's just more bear to love, Dust. And I actually kind of love that idea of gorging right at the end of one season and then not having to eat all winter. Not because I would, yeah, not the way Andrew would love for like a healthy way to have to indulge in gorging. Not that I would enjoy the gorging, but it would be nice to all winter just not have to eat. Also, they were like crab apples, so I didn't mind the bear eating them. They weren't good eating apples. You'd want to cook with them or something, which I wasn't doing. So the apples were going, well, not that they were going to waste. Other animals were eating them. Before the bear took over for those two falls, when the bear wasn't dominating the tree, deer would come and eat from it. And the wild turkeys love picking at the apples once they've fallen. And they seem to particularly like them once they get a little bit mushy as well and sort of rotten. Or I don't even know, maybe that ferments or something. All right, since I'm feeling so fucking connected to the imaginative and feeling like being quiet for a minute. Okay, so I see you're writing something, Shay, but I got to do this first. And also, maybe we can let it, if anyone else has anything to say, I'll let a few build up so that I have some more shit to work on in a minute. I'm going to do this first. That connection that I'm feeling to the thought realm is what makes me feel scattered, but it also makes it easy to plug in. So I'm going to take a minute of quiet while anyone who has things they want to comment on or ask build some material up in chat for me to work with. And just not just for whoever's here, but whoever's watching later and actually gets this far into it. I'm just going to send energy for a moment. Healing for people who need healing. Connection to their higher selves for the people who need that. Connection to whatever good thing you need a connection to. Whatever good thing you need assistance with. I'm just going to take a moment of silence. For those of you who believe in that bullshit. Okay, time to come out of that now. I was just going deeper and deeper and deeper. If I kept going, I think I would have sat there for 20 minutes. So Shane says, I think you got something that people don't have, just being able to be busy and keep things in the fire, staying motivated and driven with the live streams and discussions you have. Okay, well, I'm a fucking freak. So yeah, I'm sure I got some things that most people don't have. But I don't know exactly what those are in the perception of others. So if you're saying talk about how I've been able to be busy, keep things in the fire, stay motivated and driven with the live streams and the discussions and all the parties, the private sessions and all of this, is that what you're asking? How I've managed to be so busy, have so many things going, and stayed driven and motivated. Is that what you want me to elaborate on? All right, wait. Rather than waiting for you to say yes, if the answer is no, I'll elaborate. Like, tell me what I was wrong about if I was wrong, and I'll answer that later. But I just realized even that wasn't what you were asking. That might be what someone else will want to know. So I'll just start by saying that. Okay, this hasn't been like the Jocko method or the Peterson method or the way Ryan gets himself going. This is happening. Okay, this is happening the exact same way. Remember the about 4 months in the winter where I put out almost nothing, had very few discussions with people, was doing very little? Both of those were the same process unfolding. So I'm doing this the same way I did my hibernation. This is like the surfing the Dow. This is letting go of controlling outcome. This is trying to guide as many of my decisions as possible by my true will. And so, as opposed to planning, and it's also working within my nature. And part of this is like my bipolar, like in working with it. So, one reason my energy is going up is just that it's springtime. I'm getting mania coming in. There can be difficulties in the transition period, but I'm handling my condition better. And okay, what I find is upper management's wiser than I am. And my archangel doesn't ask me to do anything and then not give me the resources to do it, with the exception of certain tasks where that's the point. Um, but so the way as quarantine set in here, I felt like upper management told me to get to work, that this was a part of something they have going on, and that this is part of why I am what I am, where I am, when I am. So I was told to get to work. And when they tell me to get to work, well, it's like any other workplace. When you're told to get to work, they also give you the tools to accomplish it. So they're helping me regulate my energies. And they're providing me with the step by step instructions of what I need to do. Like mixed in with like my intuition, working with them and whatnot. But this is by going by intuition, listening to my invisible friends and doing what I'm being told to do. And then like how I do shit is I just try to show up in the right state to do the job to the best of my ability. And I don't always show up in the right state. Like with the parties, sometimes at the beginning, I say, okay, my body's here, but I'm not caught up to being here. It'll take me a while. But you guys see when it kicks in, when I'm doing like my work properly and hit the flow. And again, I'm not doing that by following some plan. It's not because of the things I've read or studied. I don't think to myself, like, I don't analyze the person and then think, okay, what does that mean you do with it? I plug into the psychic connections I'm feeling with the person. I open myself to whatever wants to speak through me, whether it's my angel and my higher self, or sometimes I feel like I'm hearing the other person's guides because the other person just doesn't have the ears to hear it. And then it's just all rolling with everything in a very half chaotic way, just allowing the moment to unfold and trying to participate in it. And what I guess might be sort of a flow state, or I consider, I enter sort of altered states at different times. Different subpersonalities step up, or different angels and guides step in, depending on the situation. I just try to be present and react from the best part of myself, is how I'm doing all of this. Also, with this, it's different than other jobs because, Like when you're bagging somebody's groceries or when you're handing somebody a report, you don't get a whole lot of emotional feedback. Like your payoff for those kinds of jobs are things like your salary, it's like your position, it's your status in society, those kind of things, the nice house, the car, the success, respect. Those are the payments for those jobs. You don't get paid emotionally. This job pays emotionally very, very, very strongly. And I'm motivated by that. So that's another thing that provides the effort to do this, is that what I'm doing is actually affecting other people in a positive way. In the same way that my psychic and empathetic delusions or powers help me pick up on people's hurts and traumas and connect to that part of them. It also helps me connect to the part of them that feels the relief or feels the connection to God or feels the healing or feels the understanding, the excitement, enthusiasm for their own life, whatever it is that I've helped them find. I feel that. And I'm very feminine the way I'm very emotionally caring of others. I get a deep, deep, deep satisfaction from both helping someone through an emotional problem or helping someone like find some sort of spiritual fulfillment or some amount of enlightenment. So that's been part of how I've been able to do this as well, is that feels so meaningfully rewarding. Oh, and Azrael's pointing out also that I get a whole lot of attaboy and slaps on the back from upper management, and they feel real to me too. So there's an emotional feedback there. I very much like making them feel happy and love and all of that. So it's very emotionally rewarding, which is different from even some other YouTubers. It's, well, I mean, I'm sure for some who, it's comedy, they get the reward of making people laugh and helping them through problems that way. But I don't get the feeling that, for instance, like the political and debate channels get that kind of emotional feedback. There's a lot of intellectual sparring. And different people seem to feed on that. Like Ben Shapiro seems to love the debate and loves the thrill of the combat. I don't feed off of that at all. I feed off all this motherly loving shit. And ultimately, I'm not confused about what life is. Like, I don't think life is status or being cool or fame or money or success. I'm aware that life is all about building up to the right death. That's the important thing, is dying properly. And there's so much more to come after the grave than what there is here, that if you think the point of being here is some sort of success here, you're not preparing for the rest of the journey. The point of being here is to be properly prepared for over there. And that's how I look at my life. I'm working towards my death. I'm not trying to distract myself from the fact that I'm going to die. I'm not trying to live forever as long as possible. I'm trying to achieve the right state so that I'm ready to die. And I'm trying to walk my path so I die the best death for me, whenever that is, however that is. Because I've managed to walk the true path, find my true will, change my will into something that is completely in tune with the universe's will for me. So that's what I use when it comes to all of my decision making, is how it affects that. All right, 220. This feels like it's got to be long enough by now, especially with part one to add on to it. Shane says, thank you so much for that. No problem. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to shut this down immediately. I'm just sharing my thoughts at the moment. I'm feeling I have more than filled my full moon obligation. And that if nothing else comes up, I feel no need to try to force it anymore. But some of you have stuck around this long. I'm grateful for that. Pat says, trying to find the space to say my piece before I leave this place. Andrew says, I can't believe you're still going. Okay, yeah, Pat, if you want some space here to say something, I don't need to run off right away. Yeah, I'm opening the floors, or anyone who wants anything else out of this. So, how much of this have you been here for, Andrew? Did you know I had come back on right away? And sorry about it cutting out before. Nothing I can do about it. That was just the internet cutting out for a moment. Adela's giving us a David Bowie quote. Everything's fine. I dig everything. Yes, you can find a lot of depth in that. So Andrew's been in and out. How about you, Andrew? Anything else you want to have addressed tonight? Or does this feel complete to you? And if you didn't hear the other announcements, the second part of the Dr. Amate video went up, like the second podcast. So that's on the channel now. If you didn't get a notification, just check the channel. And we're doing the next Lunatic Patrol Friday at the usual time. Oh, Shane says, I think he means leave this place as in Earth. Okay, wait, I'm going to go reread that. Where was that? Oh, Pat said, trying to find the space to say my piece before I leave this place. Elaborate on that, Pat. Andrew says, this feels complete to me. I watched half of the second podcast so far with Doc. It's great. Okay, cool. Glad you liked it. And Adela says, welcome back. Okay, so I'm going to wait for a minute to see if Pat wants to elaborate. And Della, let me know if you want to follow up to today's talk at any time. because it did get cut short. I thought we made great progress in the time we had, but it did get cut short. So I think we could go further. Although also, maybe it went enough that that's enough for you to work on for a couple days. So just let me know if you want to take a little while to absorb and do the work yourself for a little while. Feel free. But if you feel like following up, just let me know and we'll set something up as soon as we both have time. And I'll throw that out there to everyone else as well. I'm happy to be this busy at the moment. This is rewarding. So even with all my talk of how busy I've been, if you either want, or especially if you have something you want to talk about and you're willing to do a podcast the way like Nolan or James do, or a few people, yeah, if anyone wants to talk about sorting themselves out, or if they have some expertise in any of the areas we talk about on this channel, or if you have your own channel and you want to do a podcast, you can write in at sortingmyselfout0@gmail.com. That's in the description. Or if you want, like just specifically to talk to me rather than me and Ryan, or if you want to talk to just Ryan, right to the channel. But if you want to talk specifically to me for a podcast, if you join our Discord, you can send me direct links there. And also, if you think I can help you in some way, and you want to do a private session, private sessions are completely confidential. You can use me like a peer counselor, but along the psychology end. You can use me, sort of like a priest or a spiritual advisor or a magician or whatever. But all of that I consider completely confidential. So private sessions. But yeah, and even though I'm busy because I'm making time for that kind of thing. So if anyone's interested in either of those, join our Discord if you want to contact me directly, or write into sorting myself out if you're wanting to talk to both me and Ryan, or just Ryan. And Pat says it's a lyric from a great artist. I think it's what we're all kind of doing. Ah, okay. All right. Well, this feels good for tonight. And also, I do think me and Ryan should pop on more live together. So maybe we'll try to do that over the next couple days. Yeah, I've got the thing with Andrea tomorrow night, and then we're doing the party Friday. But Andrew often, it's the afternoon that he feels like doing something. So maybe over the next couple days, me and Andrew can go live. Not why am I'm saying Andrew because that's right there. Me and Ryan have been intending to try to go live more. So maybe we'll do that soon. But hopefully, I see some of you at the party Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight was great. Thanks for coming and sharing your time and attention and energy. I hope somebody got something out of this. Oh, wait, there's a few. Did I miss something? Della said, smash the like button, everyone, on your way out. Thanks for streaming. Yeah, it helps the channel if you like, or sharing is great. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. And also, apparently, the algorithm really likes it when people comment. So even if you don't have much to say, just saying hello or sharing your thoughts in the comment helps the channel a lot. So thank you to Adela for that. And on that note, I think we can wrap this up. So I hope everybody has a great rest of their night. Blessings and lunatic love to all.